we can bring the jury in, please. You may be seated today. Will counsel stipulate, please?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
We're going to continue playing it.
Which I think is weird. The wife apparently put like a
Who started this?
Sorry, Judge, we're just going to get to 216:57, which is where we left off. We had closed out the file.
Thank you.
and he goes, please, let's talk. And let me tell you what happened. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know anything about it. It's enough. And I go to Nicole's room. That was the conversation after Jacob, which I don't know if it was Saturday or Sunday.
Forrest told you he did not go into the house on Wednesday?
No, he told me that the kids said hi, that everything was fine, that they had a nice time. He wasn't precise about the place.
But you were saying something about a hair? What were you saying about?
Jacob was saying, write down everything as you were by the time you spent in Jennifer's house. Where did you eat? Did you put any plate inside the house? Do you remember going to the bathroom? And Foti said, no, I did not.
My father said that to Jacob.
To Jacob.
To Jacob, that he had never been in the house.
Yes.
Okay.
And then
Maybe a hair went in?
Huh?
You said maybe a hair went in.
Because he said, well, Jacob, I don't know if maybe a hair went in because we were playing, we were hugging, and maybe in the kids' clothes.
Was he bald at that point?
Yes. It was.
She had his whole body, so how did hair go?
That's
Well,
what he said.
Jacob told him to write down everything that happened on Wednesday.
And
Do you know if he did write it down?
No.
You don't know?
The one we wrote like rapidly was the one on Friday.
Rapidly?
Well, no, rapidly was, huh?
Why was Hartford missing from that on Friday? That Friday date? Both of you seem to miss Hartford. Both of you.
When
And
we
that's pretty
didn't,
clear that he's dumping trash all over the city and not having it in your mind to say, no, we weren't Hartford dumping trash. That is not there. And that's one thing we pressed you on after your arrest. You actually finally gave it to us.
can I show you
Yeah.
the complete one?
Yeah.
You show the one I did, or is that not supposed to show?
Yeah, I mean, the idea that they're saying,
Or even in Fotis's writings, like Hartford,
Okay, I don't
that's a
know.
pretty
I didn't-
important, that's where we found everything.
Okay,
That's
I
stuff.
know, but I didn't.
That's what led this to you now.
I know, that's why
And that's-
I'm true.
It looks bad, it looks
she
bad.
did one for you after Andy, or we had her do one for you.
You do? Okay.
Well, because what I did, I went through my AT&T account to my daughter's,
No, sorry.
to my daughter's phone, my mom's phone. So in between information of the people that I know I talked that day, I said, please send me screenshots. I forward them to Andy because my book I don't have it. And I went and then because I don't remember, like I'm so in shock, I don't remember. So I said, why I spoke with my mom 16 minutes? So I called, my mom is here. I said, Mommy, what did we talk about? And she said, we talked about you coming to Miami.
Sure. That one's, yeah, this one's 3 hours. over here.
Yeah. Still red.
Still going?
Yeah. Still red. Red beans.
Yeah, we're still.
Good. Red dot. So we are, looks like we're at 2:20.
I mean, I don't know what you guys thought was good. I just don't think I don't think she's holding anything back. I don't think she knows. I don't think she knows.
No. She's very adamant about Starbucks in West Hartford. Why, if I was gonna go around the city with Richie Colangelo because we wanted to go on a mission to dump all of our trash over the city, I would remember that for the rest of my life. It wouldn't just slip my mind.
We're gonna do it one day too.
We are.
Cause I gotta pay for trash.
Unless she's legitimately on the phone, talking and texting, and she's not paying attention.
Yeah, I mean,
And then
She's
when they-
outside the car,
She's come with me.
She was?
She's,
yeah,
She was outside the
she
house?
was open, her door was open, she's outside, chilling the ground.
her story was that she dropped gum and she realized it was sticky and she.
Yeah, she
opened
wanted
her door
to
and leaned out to pick
pick
it
up
up.
her gum when she dropped.
She's
That
like
was-
one person in the world that ever just. After dropping.
Especially,
that's good business.
Maybe she is, but.
You know,
I think there's a bit of self-preservation too.
yeah, right, cause she's thinking like,
But to that point, the Hartford thing wasn't on any of this, and it
Correct.
surely
We had a
didn't
press
come up in our
conference.
energy.
And we didn't find,
until they showed her picture.
we didn't find any notes of the 22nd, which is what the attorney told us to recreate, and he said Wednesday for photos. What we ended up finding was Friday and Saturday for both of them.
right.
But Hartford's not in
Either.
Why?
Don't we know why? Because they didn't think it was right now. They didn't think we were smart.
But that's just the question.
Now we found out.
Because he read the book, that's why he shaved his head, leave his phone on, but didn't think about, dumping the trash, leave his phone on there.
Right. And then I just believe that they want Starbucks to cover that cell tower area, because we're up in Albany, that's right by Albany Ave. So that's why we're there.
Wait, that's it, were you ever at that Starbucks before? No, it's basically there.
Oh, that, that's a good point.
I have one.
And just, we're still here, let's take her for a hike tomorrow. Let's go for a walk.
Yeah, let's go for
Yeah, why not?
So what do you think about that West Hartford story?
But here's the thing, the guy in West Hartford, but here's the thing, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I think she's good.
Yeah, she's great.
Also, I think,
You were.
What?
You were talking about.
The Harvard thing.
yeah, another thing, I don't know if this helps, when Pavel on Tuesday in the morning, or when before going supposedly to New Canada, Fotis also said to Pavel, write a timeline. And Pavel said, why have to write a timeline? No, I memorized everything, I know it by. So Fotis was making us make timelines
What?
of that day, I don't know.
Of which day, Wednesday?
No,
the Friday?
no, the Friday,
Right.
because,
But Pavel questioned, like, why do I have to do this?
yes,
He was confused?
oh, and this was in the kitchen, and
Pavel was there. There was the three of you having a conversation, this one
Pavel,
picture.
yes,
And which day was this? Do you recall?
Monday was Memorial Day, no, so this was Tuesday,
Tuesday? The following Tuesday.
yes. When Pavel, I guess, came to the office, or at some point during the morning,
That's normal for him to go to the office,
Yes.
like routinely, and he shows up, goes to the office, that's normal.
no, this wasn't in the office, this was in the kitchen. Because the
Is it
house-
normal for Pavel to be in the house like that?
Yes,
Normally?
because he takes the keys,
Okay.
that it's in the drawer, to
Yeah.
pick up the car that he's taking, and because
Where's-
usually we're
yeah.
sleeping, he comes in,
Where does he leave his keys? Does he ever leave his keys with the house?
you know,
With you guys?
in his car or inside his, I don't know.
I'm just trying to figure out patterns of behavior, that's all.
Yeah, and for this, did say, right, and he said, I was here, and I said, no, I have it in my mind, I don't need to write anything. That I remember
Yeah.
happening. So yes, for this wanted us to do a timeline because supposedly Jacob told him.
Did
This is
Flores tell you what, hey, you know what, do the timeline, but don't say anything about Hartford, about throwing in the trash.
well, that's what you asked me. No, he said let's do a
You
highlight.
know, smart like Andy? Wow.
Uh,
Oh,
I came up with the same question Andy did, so I feel smart.
no,
Did you
he
write a
just said,
highlight?
like write what you did, so you don't forget. He kept saying that, like write what you did, so you don't forget.
Did he go over it with you after you had written?
No,
Did you guys, did he compare notes with you? Did he guide you when writing that? Did he guide
no,
you?
but he did go like, okay, what's
Is it
the
highlight-
we ate?
Just saying, highlight here might be dropped off trash. If he's telling you, hey, see that
No, he said, so at what time you eat? And I said, I don't know, 12, 1, 2.
but you put, what you're telling us tonight is you did not see photos in the morning, correct? You wrote
No,
it.
this was like on Sunday when we wrote.
Weekend.
This is
Right,
not the
when you're-
weekend when we write that time.
Right, so you're writing the timeline that you saw photos in the morning, you guys took a shower together, you guys had breakfast, and in this interview today, you haven't seen him. So what I'm asking you
I didn't
is,
say we had breakfast.
in the original timeline, you saw photos of, yes.
In your notes.
The point Michelle is being made is that
Right.
when you and John and I first talked, you told us you got up and you took a shower with photos.
In the
You guys had
in your
breakfast, and a lot of this stuff is in the timeline that photos were, I believe that photos
Breakfast,
were.
I don't remember.
Now you've changed that
Proper
version,
shower.
so we're trying to see.
Did he-
But breakfast,
No,
no.
you probably.
Lunch, yes.
Alright, who wrote this?
That's not my letter. That's not.
Detective Kimball, I paused the video at 2:26:36. Could you just indicate for the jury what you're showing the defendant at this point?
I am showing her a photograph on my phone of a timeline that we believe was written by Michelle Dulos.
Okay, and I can just have states 74 and 75. Do you have gloves, sir?
Do not have gloves.
I'm handing you state 75. If you could just take a look at that. What is state 75?
This is a single sheet, double-sided, handwritten timeline for Friday the 24th and for Saturday the 25th, 5/25/2019.
Okay. And does that appear to be a photocopy or an original?
This appears to be original.
And is that what you were showing the defendant on your phone?
A photograph of this, yes.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
a photograph of this exhibit, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Could I just ask the witness to just hold that document up so I don't have to come up there, just split up me, so I can see which one it is? Thank you.
And actually, I'll ask you to show it to the jury as well.
Both sides?
Yes, sir. Now, did the defendant, you've indicated that you interviewed the defendant also in August, is that correct?
Correct.
And did you show the defendant a handwritten, or a photocopy of a handwritten timeline in August?
Yes.
Okay. And hand you state 74. And before you open it, did the defendant identify which timeline she had written to you?
Yes.
I'm going to ask that you take out that timeline and show that to the jury, Mr. Schoenberg.
Okay. This is number 74.
74. which of these three documents did the defendant identify as having been written by her?
These two.
Okay. Directing your attention to the document that's in your right hand, could you just hold that up for the jury? You okay, John?
Yes.
Yes, could you just somehow identify that, since there's 3 separate sheets in that same envelope, which one, please, for the record, please?
This is a photocopy of a handwritten timeline beginning at 6:40 a.m.
That's enough, I think.
And I'm actually going to ask you if you could just indicate to the jury the last time entry on that timeline which the defendant entered.
Last time entry is 5:10.
And is there any mention of dumping trash in that timeline?
There is not.
Just going to return this to the clerk, Your Honor. And we're going to pick the video back up at 2:26:36.
I'm just curious, did you write this code?
No, that's not my
Okay, okay, well, that's why I'm asking you. How about this? Did you write that?
That's not my
Do you recognize that handwriting?
Please stop this.
Okay, so Saturday looks like Fotis wrote the Saturday document?
What's that looking?
Okay, I'm just labeling it for the video. So Saturday, 5:25, that looks like Fotis' handwriting to you?
Yeah.
Is that okay? And I'm only showing parts. This also, that's not your writing?
No, my
Whose
writing,
handwriting?
that's
Whose handwriting?
Fotis.
Okay, so Fotis wrote the Friday and the Saturday.
Of his timeline, not mine.
Well, this is actually, it has elements of both of you.
Right.
Pero he wrote it, not me. That's not my
Well, that's why
writing.
I'm right. We were asking because Fotis is
Where it
very
sounds like he's writing it, because it's writing it, because it doesn't say I, it says,
Ah, well,
It says Michelle.
that's him. Like,
Michelle, where would your letter be?
Yeah, where'd you?
can I show you?
No, did you?
The one you wrote with Jamie.
No, the one that you wrote, in the, with that step, with that Tuesday, did you leave it at the house?
He photocopied and he put it in a bag, in
In a
a
briefcase?
suitcase, yes. In a bag, in a black suitcase,
Okay.
with a computer of Guillaume.
How many computers normally in that suitcase?
What was that? That Guillaume was a guy that worked for Fortis, but he's stopped working for Fortis.
So it's a Guillaume
last
computer,
year.
it's his computer.
Bueno, it's a computer of Forgo, but we call it Guillaume's computer because
Oh,
it was
because it was
computer.
just, gotcha.
How many computers are normally in that suitcase?
That suitcase is Fortis and I've never opened it. That
Okay,
always
that
was
has
in
room
the
for
office.
3 suitcases, 3 laptops.
But I have my computer, that you guys have it. Fortis has his computer, then that was Guillaume's.
That bag was Guillaume's?
No, the computer.
The computers.
There's one, well, it's Forgo, but we call it Guillaume's. It was the computer that Guillaume used to use while he would work for Forgo.
Michelle, what I'm trying to say is that we found the bag, we found the photograph copies of this letter, by the way. And normally, are there 1 or more computers in that bag?
I don't know
You
because
don't know.
that
That's
was
fine.
what mine.
I don't know the perfectly reasonable answer, that's why we're asking.
And there's another big computer all in the office that I do all the photoshops, the pictures, because it's the only one that has programs.
Does Pavel have a computer?
Yes.
Where did you get that computer and when did you get that computer?
Pavel works for Fortis before I met him, so I don't know.
So you don't know?
No.
Perfect.
So you said you.
And Andy, there was another guy working, he's called Andy
Lewis,
and he was there that week. He went for a day, I think Tuesday or Wednesday, to work on Ronnie's budget for what Fortis doing. But I did see Andy in the office on Tuesday or Wednesday, I don't remember.
So you said you made a photocopy of the letter you wrote? Where did the original letter go? Because if you made a copy of it, and you put the copy in the thing, where's the letter?
The letter
Yeah.
is the one that I gave you.
That's the one you wrote with the other attorney the day after.
I didn't write anything with any of
No, you wrote it at because,
because Fotis
Told
told me
you
that
to,
Jacob
right, yeah.
said, write a time,
and you have your original, you have it?
and I have,
She gave it to me.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was wondering, if you left your original there or what, that's what I was
I
asking.
put it
No,
in
thank
my
you, now
notes.
we got it.
And I took it with me, and there was a copy supposedly, maybe there's not, did you find my copy in that
I
bag?
don't know, I wasn't there, so I can't really, the answer to that.
Can you talk about Andy Loomis? You brought his name up
No, because he was there on Tuesday or Wednesday for a
After.
day.
okay? You haven't, so when was the last time?
After.
Before. Before Jennifer went missing, or the Tuesday after Memorial Day?
I think it was before.
Before. And prior to that time, when was the last time you saw Andy Loomis? Is it frequent he comes by, or?
You know, he used to work for
Yeah.
Ford. He was hired, full-time job.
Mhm.
When I was in Colorado, apparently Fotis said, Andy, I cannot
Right.
pay you.
Right.
I didn't know until I arrived because I asked him, where's Andy?
How long ago was that?
What?
That you're talking about?
No, this is in March.
March. Well, yeah, this is good. So back to March, Andy Loomis is gone
But I
with the
know
business.
since
With the business.
From Ford Group,
You from Ford Group.
yes.
Since March till Jennifer's disappearance, is Andy come around often? Do you see him? How was his relationship with Fotis was?
Work. With
Just work?
Pavel, he has a better, stronger relationship because he knows Pavel. Pavel used to be the one that would do his walls
Yeah.
of the house, so he would be like an independent contractor. And then Fotis hired him to be like a project manager.
Andy,
I mean, no, Pavel.
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 So what I'm asking is from March, when Fotis lets Andy go from the business,
Yes, I probably
when was the
saw
last time you
Andy
saw? Yeah.
maybe 3 times more in my life.
Was it unusual that he was there on that Tuesday?
No,
Okay.
for what Fotis said, that I called Andy, so he pays him by the day, I guess, I don't know.
Okay.
But I called Andy to help me work on the Pavlovis budget.
Okay. Does Loomis and Pavel, do they dirt bike together? I don't know if he just brings them back, you guys have a lot of property, they go
Pavel's
off.
bike, the Honda that
Yeah.
he's riding, and you can see it's mine, it's under my name.
Does he go back there with any friends other than you?
Too.
And Pavel, you and Fotis go back there,
I only driven motor with Pavel only one time.
one time?
That was this road,
Okay.
this big loop, only one time, and that was like 3 weeks ago.
What was
I
it?
don't ride with
I thought I'm just kind of losing track here, but the 15 times, what was it?
with Fotis and me.
Smaller route.
Gotcha. Alright, I don't wanna get,
Of the 15 times, some of them, there was 1 or 2 of the big ones.
Gotcha.
Large one.
Right.
and then you mentioned Pavel goes back there too,
Only one
Only one time.
time with me.
with you, that you
And
know of.
that I know, and I think he supposed it for what his impression was, that my impression that I got from him, that he'd never been there before.
Was it just you and him, or Fotis was there as well?
When we went in the motor, no, that's him, I'm gonna go with Pavel and
Okay, so when you guys did that, did you stop and
No.
take in the sights anywhere and like walk around, or
We
you
just
just?
go, I mean,
you
yes,
just ride?
we stop it, like if I fall, if Fotis fall, which with the 3 of us we fell
Okay.
at some point in one of the,
But you didn't stop and spend time in a certain area, you just rode, fell, then up and rode?
yes.
So, after Friday, the 24th, has he been on his dirt bike back there? Has he been going back, riding, doing this?
Not that I know.
Okay. Was he came back from the backwoods dirty, you know, sweating?
When Fotis dirt bikes, does he wear anything on his hands?
Yes, we all.
What does he wear?
We all. And we just bought them in Miami.
He did, what kind of gloves was it, you know?
What brand?
Yeah, well, what color? Are
It's
they
black.
black? Are they
It's like,
rubber? Are they leather?
mine are leatherish, and it has protections here, mine.
Okay.
And I think he bought the same like mine. I think,
So black leather gloves?
or grayish, either two. No, because he just got them. He used to use my bicycle gloves that are gray with black, that are
Do
Trek.
they have any markings or anything like?
Trek.
Trek.
The brand Trek, they were my
Oh, Trek.
Trek. My bicycle gloves, because at some point he lost his gloves and I gave him my bicycle gloves. But those are not moto gloves, they're bicycle.
Right, so they don't have fingers.
They don't have, no, they do have the fingers, they don't have the protections for moto.
And when did you lose those gloves?
No, a year ago.
What brand are his new gloves?
She's not sure.
I don't know, it can be Fox, it can be KTM. The equipment of KTM, I got it to him a year when he bought the moto as a gift. The black pants with the stripes and an orange shirt.
The photos generally there's black leather gloves when you motocross.
The new ones that he got, if they're not leather, they're kind of, but they're more like, not neoprene, they're like a little bit stretchy.
So we talked about what happened Saturday after Jennifer went missing. What did you guys do on Sunday?
Sunday?
Yeah.
Sunday, he went to meet Eugene, supposedly.
Who's Jean?
Eugene, his lawyer. Me, at 11, I was having brunch at La Salle in Collinsville with Nicole, Hatch, Aaron, Quinn, and Jules. Quinn and Jules are their daughter and son.
Mm-hmm.
We ate there. Then we probably stayed there like an hour. Then I took Nicole to a place that they sell, I gave you the receipt, I don't remember the name, something Jake cake or something like that. So she got a muffin in like a popsicle, a cake popsicle in Canton. And then we went to the pond, Nicole and I. We relaxed, we stayed there. In the morning I prepared a Greek salad because we were gonna do eat at the pond.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that in the morning, sorry. Then I went to eat brunch. Then we went to buy a popsicle, whatever this thing is. We went to the pond. We stayed there all day. I water skied. That I wasn't in the mood, I couldn't, but Hatch said, go, come on, I was crying. So he said, go, go, go. So Hatch and Greg got in the boat. He said, do you want to do the course? He said, my head is not to do the course. I just want to free ski. So I free ski. Then Nicole was hungry. We went to the marketplace. We had lunch. We came back to the pond. Nicole invited a friend. The dad brought Charlotte, Nicole's friend. They were paddleboarding. I was just hanging there. At some point, Fotis arrived. He water skis. Then Aaron gives me a menu to order pizza. So what type of pizza? I order a salad. I wasn't really hungry. I order a pizza for Nicole and the friend. Aaron goes and gets the pizza, comes back, we all ate. It was Aaron, Greg, Hodge, Fotis, Charlotte, Nicole, and I.
Erin is Hutch's wife.
Yes. And then by probably 8, we left to the house, maybe a little bit earlier.
Whose idea was it to have brunch?
Hodge wanted to have brunch. Well, no, wait. They were going on a bicycle ride, and they said, you wanna go? I said, no, Nicole doesn't do 20 miles of bicycle, so I'll go in the car. I didn't wanna stay in the house, that's the truth.
Why?
Oh, I was scared, I was like
Scared.
worried.
About what?
Jennifer disappeared, and like she's gonna come and she's gonna like kill me and Nicole. That's what was in my head.
You thought Jennifer was gonna come and kill you and Nicole?
One of the thoughts, yes, that was one of my thoughts.
What would make you think that? You've only seen her once and that was car to car.
Because apparently she had all this illness, and for what Foti said that she was very angry, she was throwing motions every time. So I always felt, and I actually one time went to the police like a year ago and put I went to the court, but this is like a year ago, and said I'm worried about my safety of me and Nicole. But the police said that, and I have that paper in the house somewhere, and you can check it. I don't know if that's in records, but this is like a year ago. Can't help me do it.
Because this is, because of all the stuff that photos told you.
Yes. I'm like, okay, this woman is gonna come and kill me because I'm like.
Okay, so you're at the lake and so the photo shows up.
Yes, and he said I spent time, because he went to New York.
Did he get to
That's what
see,
he told me.
to see his children?
And the police was there, he called the police, supposed to be an hour, he couldn't see the kids.
Who called the police?
Fotis told me he called the police, and the police came in New York City.
Maybe the police got called up.
Okay, I don't know.
And what was did he get to see his children?
No.
And what was his mood like when he came back?
He was supposedly concerned,
But he wasn't,
not crying,
and was he angry?
concerned, angry,
Concerned,
that he
angry?
couldn't take the kids because in his mind he was gonna bring the kids. He told me, I'm gonna bring the kids.
Okay.
So he didn't come with the kids. I guess that's why he was upset, angry, concerned. I don't know.
Which one is it?
I don't know. Maybe he was upset.
Did he indicate to you he was upset?
I could, well, now I don't know.
You've been with him?
Yeah, when I saw his face, he was like upset, like disappointed.
Did you ask him any questions?
Yes, and so what happened? No, I didn't see them. I know that they have a bodyguard. The police came. One of the police came down and said that there was a bodyguard. That's how he knew. That Lauren and two other people were there. So he told me he never knew what the other people were. And then I think he met Eugene. That's why he was, for what he told me, 5 hours, 6 hours, maybe more.
And at any point, so when you two initially greeted each other,
What is good? I say hello.
Yeah.
Mhm.
were you friendly? I mean, was it?
Oh, I hugged him. Yes.
Did you say anything to him? Jokingly or otherwise?
I think I told him I love him. I hugged him. I'm like, did you see the? And then I asked him, did you see the kids? And then he said, and we were all sitting there. It wasn't only just me. It was Aaron was sitting there.
We believe you.
Okay.
We believe you. Don't worry.
No, I'm not. It's like I feel like no one believed me.
No, if we did, we wouldn't be here right now.
Okay.
But did you ask him if he thought that you two would be able to have sex in jail?
Yes, I said that was a joke.
Why would you say that as a joke?
Because he said the police could have arrested me in New York, and I said, well, if you get arrested, can I have, how do you know? Yes,
Well, they talked to other people who heard it.
yeah. Well, Greg was there. Greg, Aaron, and I think Hodge. We were all lying in the grass.
So the jail comment was about what just happened in New York?
In New York?
Yes.
Not about anything else?
You mentioned a girl named Kim earlier, is that Kim Rose?
Yes. That's the mom
I know who she is.
of Lauren that we went on.
She's the cousin of Mike Rose, the attorney.
Yes. Yeah. No, you know why I think I said that? I think someone said, well, Fotis, you could go to jail because the first suspect is the husband. I think now what you're saying. I think
Okay.
someone said that. And I said, as a joke, because I'm usually stupid and I joke, I said, oh, can you have sex in the jail? And we all laugh. That's how that joke became. A stupid joke. I'm sorry about that.
So the search warrants were done.
Which search?
on the houses and your phones and everything.
And then the swabs,
The
your
swabs,
fingerprints.
remember when you,
Oh,
well, that,
that was in the night.
yeah, I know, but remember when all that stuff was done, so they've done search warrants on the house that you lived in.
But before that, they did, you
We
guys
did
did.
Yeah, did the body, yep, you and Fotis, right?
Yes,
They took your cell phones,
yes.
so after all that was done,
Mhm.
did he have a conversation with you as to why
Why what?
it was done?
What's happening?
What did you say to that?
I was upset, I'm like, why? And
Did you
but
talk with him?
we were staying, he got a hotel in Naples, and we were actually staying, he got 2 rooms, and I said, no, I'm sleeping with my mom and Nicole, I'm not sleeping with you. So he said, please then sleep with you guys. And I said, yeah, on the sofa. So me, Nicole, and my mom, we've been sleeping in the bed, he slept in the sofa outside, but because he had the light on, he closed the door. Obviously, I was with Nicole, putting her to sleep, hugging her, whatever you do as a mom. He wanted to go and rent a car because I had to come here and see Andy. I said, and he said, I'll take you. I'm like, no. Andy said, and I called Andy. I said, Andy, is it good that Fotis come to me or with me? That he drives me? He said, I'd rather not. I'd rather have you come alone. And I kept saying, and he said, no, I'll go with you. And did he come with me? Well, I know you came down. At the end, we didn't come. Andy came to the hotel. We went to rent a car in Enterprise because he was pushy. He rented this blue that is still there, the car in the hotel. He drives the blue car. Wait. Well, I don't remember if I drove the blue or he. Well, I don't know. We drove the 2 cars back, the Yukon.
Michelle, before you go, what I think Allison asked you is,
Oh, I'm sorry.
did you ask him, hey, why the heck is all this happening?
Yes, I
And what did he
all
say?
the time.
What did he say?
What did
He's
he
like,
say?
I don't know, but everything's gonna be fine. Don't worry. I'm like, what do you mean? There's Jennifer missing. We don't know where she is. We're like sleeping in a
You
hotel.
go home, they
I
took
had
our
to
cars, they
bring
took
my
our phone,
mom.
yeah.
Like travel all the way here. Nicole is like in the middle of exams, which I was concerned telling Andy. It's like too much. Like and like what's gonna happen? Like my question is always what's gonna happen, because I don't know what's gonna happen. And I still don't know what's gonna happen. And he kept saying, it's okay, stay strong, it's gonna be okay. Like that's what he kept saying to me. And I'm like, okay, but I was upset.
Was he talking, sorry, so was he talking to
And I
anybody? Was he talking with you, phone calls
With
to
his sister.
Pavel, to the guy from, New Fairfield, whatever the guy's name was? Hartford. Was he talking to Nick? Was he talking to Pavel?
No,
Was he
I
talking
don't know.
No, but when he's with you, is he on the phone talking to anybody
Yes,
that?
no, he's talking all the time on the phone. And he was, each time that you guys took the phone, he would go, his first mission was to go and get a phone. Which even my mom said, why? And he bought 2 phones, and there's 2 phones in the
Who got a new
hotel.
phone? Who did he call to give his new number?
Sorry?
Who did he call when he got a new phone? To make sure they had.
He said Jacob and no Jean.
Jacob and Jean.
And like me, I always stick with my mom's phone. I just got a phone like 2 days ago. Like, I didn't even want to talk to anyone. Because Jacob says if the police calls you, don't answer. They'll leave a message. 2 times the police called me. And they left a message, Andy heard them. And you guys have the phone? The voicemails are there. Then the reporter started calling. And I didn't want, and I'm like, I don't want phone. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to be in this mess.
I'm sure you don't. You definitely don't. Try to help. Yeah,
At any point while all this is going on, did you at any point think that he did it?
With all this information, yes.
No,
Not this.
that weekend. That weekend before.
Before you got arrested?
Oh, before
Yes.
she disappeared,
No,
and
no,
she had this plan?
Before.
Let's put it this way, before Memorial Day. at any point? Because probably after Memorial Day,
I mean,
you started to see more
I did
information.
have DV1, like all of those million questions, because I said it can be the mom that wants it because supposedly the mom also is crazy and was in a psychiatric and tried to kill her. I have so much information that maybe it's a lie.
Did you get it from?
From Fotis.
Okay.
He told me that in the report it says that the mom at 79 committed almost suicide, but what she didn't suicide herself.
Did you ever actually see that report?
No.
Physically see it and read it?
No,
So this
because,
is just him?
Because this report, it's in Mike Rowe's office, because supposedly it's sealed. But this is all what Fotis told me. I don't know if it's true or not. He told me that the woman at 79 tried to kill herself, she couldn't, and she ended up in a psychiatric for 3 months. That the sister who was bipolar was in 7,000 of treatment of medication. That Jennifer was borderline personality, depression, and a slightly eating disorder. Minimum, I don't know, this is all what he told me.
So Michelle, in your gut,
Okay, so
listen to the
going
question.
back to
Listen
your
to the
question.
In your gut, in your mind, in your heart, in your stomach, based on what you know, not what we've told you, what do you think has happened to Jennifer?
No, but Fotis killed her. That's what.
So now your feeling is that Fotis killed
Oh, you're
Jennifer?
telling me? Okay,
No,
I know.
not what-
Now I
not
feel yes.
what-
My God says yes.
If were you married before, or just you had a common child?
No.
So
With
if the mother of your daughter, if the father of your
I
child,
have a very good relationship. He's
Go ahead,
actually
if-
coming.
okay, good relationship or bad relationship,
Yes.
if he goes missing, how do you react? If hypothetically, if they said, hey, Nicole's dad is
I'm
missing.
in Argentina looking.
Are you trying to help?
You leave the country and fly to Argentina.
Of course.
If you found out that
Okay.
the father of your child was missing.
Yes,
Okay,
of course. And actually, he wants to come. He's been
Okay,
calling me
okay.
every day.
Now-
Should I go, Michi? Should I
But
be
just listen
there?
to this story.
so, Fotis is, assuming
We
the
actually was
ex-wife
the opposite.
goes missing, he gets an attorney, doesn't want to help, and then tells everyone not to talk to the police. Would you
The
do that?
attorney said to me not to talk to the
Okay,
police.
is that normal? Would you do that? Would you do that?
I thought it was,
If-
I thought it was, in my mind,
Right.
no. I agree with you, yes, of
Right,
course.
you're in it, you got television, they're all around you, I understand.
No, in my mind, if I would have been told this, I would have gone and
Did
be
you say that to
searching.
Fotis?
No, I didn't. But because this has been 2 years of torture
Well, it was
for what Fotis
divorce,
told me.
yes,
of
divorces
the
are bad,
divorce.
I understand.
Oh, my parents are divorced and they're together like best friends, and I never went through
That's rare.
torture like this.
Well,
So that's rare.
Oh,
It's nice.
True.
It's refreshing.
no, we've been sleeping in the same room. I mean, they celebrate still their anniversary.
how has it been hell for you? With their divorce going on? Why has it been hell for you?
Because Fotis gets angry each time he comes from court, he's upset, because on the weekends that obviously I cannot be with the kids,
Mhm.
and because Judge Heller, the last court order was that the kids spend a Saturday or Sunday, I don't remember which days, 6 hours in Farmington, so I have to move out of the house.
So you're not allowed to be around,
No, I can't. I
did
cannot
that
be.
make you angry?
Well, because I have to change, I have to look for plans on the weekend. with
Absolutely,
Nicole.
and it's-
So that's
it's
why
a
I
big
went one
inconvenience.
weekend to New York, I took Nicole to stop. Another weekend I went to Boston, and I took her to the Ballet of Boston. Another weekend we went to Rhode Island.
So you and Nicole.
Yes, and then Fotis appears at night because he spends time with the kids,
Right.
and then he sleeps at
It
night.
seems like your personal life is getting uprooted during these visits, and you have to go elsewhere, and that's a huge inconvenience.
Of course.
And I'm sure it
I have
causes
to check
tension.
my day-by-day
And I'm
life.
sure it causes tension between Fotis and
Oh,
you,
we
because
fight all the
look,
time.
I'm divorced, all of it, I'm divorced, I have a common child, and it's a big inconvenience. But I'm just looking for, nothing for you, but maybe that's a motivator for Fotis to get rid of Jennifer, make his life easier, his relationship easier, he get the kids.
Well, that's
He can remove that whole side.
Yeah, and now then I'm like the
I'm not
mother.
blaming you, I'm just saying, he loves you and it's causing tension, God,
No, but you said he
goddamn,
doesn't love me. If
what does he say about
If
her?
he's saying that he wants
I mean,
to
obviously,
get
he gets angry, right? So what does he say about Jennifer? You know,
That-
the effing swear words,
I never
and everyone's,
thought, yes, I never thought she was gonna do this to me. I never saw her, this side of her. Sometimes I hope she disappeared.
And I'm not gonna, I've said that about my class situation.
Yeah,
Granted,
like that in my head doesn't
Right.
work because with me and Gaston, Nicole's dad, we travel together,
Yeah.
we do vacations together.
and that's the way
like-
it should be, that's wonderful
Because-
co-parenting.
Right, because
Amazing.
it's for,
Gaston
because
has even
it's for Nicole.
stayed for Jefferson
Absolutely, that's
2
amazing.
times with Fotis and us, and we've been in Miami, the 4 of us together, with
Right.
Nicole, Gaston, Fotis, and me.
That's wonderful co-parenting.
Like, in my mind, that's why all this
That's
is
how it
like
should be.
For Nicole.
what?
For Nicole.
Oh, and I really like Gaston. He's a super nice guy. I mean, and if I have to choose another father, I choose him 100 million times. I'm not gonna change.
And that's the normal thing to say, that's
Yeah,
normal.
I love him. I love him as a person, the father of my daughter. So,
But Fotis didn't feel that way about
no, she.
You said that he said he wanted her to go away, or disappear.
Yeah, but
You
when
want her to-
I even
It's
think I said
just in
something.
jest, you say things in jest, no one thinks it's really gonna happen.
Yeah, like, how many times I say,
No.
like, I wanna kill myself.
I could jump to work and I could say, thank God Johnny's not here, he's gone, like, I wish, we get mad at each other.
In Spanish, there's a saying, and I say it all the time to my daughter, but don't arrest me for this. I say, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah,
You know how many
that's
times
what I
I
was
say
saying
that?
before.
I've got 4 kids, I know.
Right.
And she go, and
So
she
people
then
say
she laugh
things
because okay, how are you
because
gonna
we don't
kill
have
me? I'm
that-
like, I'm gonna kill you with a lot of kisses. Like,
Right.
I play, like, I make
Right.
a joke. But,
Right.
I mean, yes, sometimes I say it. And yes, and for this, all
Thinking
this.
about something is one thing, it's when you
I know,
actually.
yeah, I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna kill no one.
Okay,
So, are you, maybe tomorrow you could take these guys and show them with the moto?
just, we'll have to do some coordinating through the water company and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But if there's
So
no
we'll
water
work on
company.
Well, it's a reservoir
Property
property, so
owner.
I'm not sure, technically, you guys own that property? No, so I figured some type of, regional water
Figure out
property.
whose land.
So we gotta make sure we're gonna go on there the right way.
It's
Right,
the
it's-
DMV, something like
Yeah,
that.
She thinks it's the Department of Environmental
Yeah,
Protection.
you think it's
DE,
Yeah.
DE,
So we'll just set that out on our end.
That's what
the
it
other
is.
one, the what, Encom?
So in the country,
Yeah.
We'll figure that out, but the bottom line is that you'd be willing to go with some people to show us where you're talking about.
The only thing that through the woods, we're gonna have to do it walking, it's gonna take us probably like 2 hours.
That's fine.
Are the paths wide enough for a vehicle, or for a truck?
For the gravel, yes, the gravel is easy.
Part of it's gravel, under the power lines, it's
Well, it's like under the power lines, but it kind of have like another
Have you ever,
road.
you know those little gators, those like those little mini vehicle, four-wheel drive vehicles,
Yes,
or ATVs for the
that
big?
fits.
That
Not
would-
in the woods, no, because there's a lot of
I
roads.
think it should be walked,
Yeah.
but take it slowly.
Don't want
Yeah, it's not.
go through you.
I'll call you.
Andy. Right.
But Andy, you coming with me, so.
So we're good.
I have to be in court first thing tomorrow morning, so if this is gonna happen.
It'll probably take some more time, no?
Yeah, I mean,
We'll-
put resources in the water property. I'll just.
What
I'll
if
be-
we go with 2 guys that knows motor and we go behind them?
Well,
We'll just,
in a perfect world, yes, but.
We'll figure the logistics out.
So when do you wanna do this? When?
as soon as we can.
Tomorrow, Saturday, Saturday.
Tomorrow's, I just,
No,
I mean,
tomorrow's Friday.
Right.
yeah, no.
Tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, whatever.
Alright,
The
Saturday I can't, tomorrow I'm in court first thing in the morning,
Okay.
which I could try to, get done quickly.
Yeah.
Which court?
No,
Oh, God.
I'll have to take care of that.
Don't do that.
well, you wanna take care of it? I mean, if you want, go, I can get out of there, hopefully I'll be able to get out of there quickly.
When you get there, just text me and I'll tell them they give you whatever date you want to get you done. It's easy.
Alright, okay.
Well, I don't have that much clothes, guys. I'm like without home, without.
Yeah, she's homeless, she has no
So what do you
clothes.
wanna arrange now?
So, and I have this thing in the foot that I cannot put
For
a
your
boot.
daughter.
So, the
So we
GPS.
can probably set something up.
Okay. Yeah, you can.
So, but I need another shoes. Otherwise, I don't have clothes. Guys. I'm like,
Look, I have no problem, you can meet her there, bring her in, let her get what she wants for her and so.
Okay.
Trey, or Nicole's already come.
Okay.
I can give you, that's another thing I have to ask. Can I give you like a list because Nicole is leaving on the.
They're gonna let you go in. If you don't care. They're gonna let you go in.
Oh, it's fine. Okay.
Is this, can I take Nicole or it's like a mess, like everything's
It's
like.
probably better not to take Nicole, but in case, talk to her about what she wants and see if I, look, say, if I can go and get you whatever you want, what would you get? And then
No,
if
and
you
I
get it
know all
for
the
her,
ski equipment.
if you get it for
is
her,
the
then you
most
surprise her,
priority.
that way we'll try and get it done for you. But I'd rather her not.
Because if she goes and there is something, it's not gonna be a good sight.
Is the house like a mess, like upside down?
I
Like,
think so. It
you're-
was pretty neat.
They understand what they're saying? If there's something in there that is a surprise and it's terrible, you don't want
Yeah,
to
just-
Okay, no, I'll go wherever it takes me.
And when,
The most important is take her ski equipment out of there because she's going to Argentina and she's training and competing.
listen, they just told you, you can go in and get it,
yeah,
okay? So you're, it's very.
so I can plan ahead for those guys out there, I mean, what time frame would you be looking at? I just gotta make some calls, you know.
Yeah, but it's something.
My only responsibility now is take Nicole to school. But I think you have the schedule, but she has school tomorrow.
I don't know, I don't think I have.
Can I ask my mom?
Yeah, we'll work it out.
Well, if she has school, she starts at 8, so again, same, 6:40, well,
We'll have time after we finish to call and get in touch.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but
we have guys there, I just want to give them, we'll figure it out, give them the time when they're showing up, get her in, talk to the state's attorney, this is good. You know, they'll just escort her through whatever, get whatever she needs to get. And leave.
And then we'll find a day where we can all go for a little hike,
Is it not gonna be tomorrow?
hopefully.
Well, my only thing is if we go on that.
If
It
not,
doesn't matter.
Right, that's what I mean.
I'm just saying if we found something.
But she takes.
No.
But this part we can do in a car, because we're not gonna walk all this is gonna take forever.
I gotta lose some weight, so.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I know, I lost already 3 kilos. This we can do in a car, this is the part that we need a moto or walk. Because this is in between the trees, there's a log. I mean, this part we can do perfectly in car, and this takes in car maybe 5 minutes. Well, there's a part that we go, I think, yes, we can.
They'll set it up, don't worry.
We'll get it figured out.
Do you wanna see if they wanna do that?
Yeah, I can call, they're there, so holding the house, so they just have
Might be
to.
able to swing in by the way home to get the stuff she wants.
But I have to pick up Nicole at 5
We better get going. Where is she?
It's 5:04.
in the school.
You gotta go. You gotta go now.
Well, I know, but I'm with you.
No, what I'm saying, if we gotta do that, let's do it. It's not me.
I'll call up there.
But-
No, so we'll do it,
We'll coordinate.
yeah, we'll fix that, we won't do it
But I
today,
have
we'll do it
to-
tomorrow.
yes,
You're gonna
because
pick her up,
you-
you're gonna be with her,
you know
don't
what,
spend her
because-
time with her tonight. Don't be a mom tonight. Tomorrow you drop her off at school, we'll figure the rest out.
Yeah,
Right?
Because otherwise I don't know where to eat.
perfect.
And I don't wanna,
Don't.
and in the house I'm not gonna go with you. Is it okay?
You can go in the house.
But do
You
you
can
guys
go.
are gonna ask me questions?
No.
Nobody's gonna ask you anything,
No.
you're gonna get the stuff
You're
you
gonna
want.
get your stuff, aren't you? Isn't that what you want?
Get Nicole stuff and I
Yeah.
mean, if I can
And
take things
yes.
from me, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
You
you.
won't talk, you won't ask me questions,
Okay.
we'll figure out what time.
But I have to get the suitcase, all
You
the boots, helmet, so I'm gonna have to walk.
Yeah, and just keep in mind, you don't have to answer, like, we're not gonna be asking you questions, but don't ever feel compelled like you have to answer, I mean, like, you can stay quiet. if you want. Like, it's your right,
Tell us to be quiet if you
tell
want.
us, yeah,
Yeah.
if you want
No,
complete
but-
silence, we're not gonna say anything.
No, but
These are your rights.
if Andy's not there, they're not gonna talk to you tomorrow.
Right.
Look, we're not trying to do
Is it
anything
gonna be-
bad to you, we just wanna find Jennifer, and if you can
And
help
you're
us,
not
that's
gonna put like,
wonderful.
okay, my fingerprints
And
and
then,
stuff
no,
like that.
that's already done, yeah,
You're done,
You're ready to do it.
you're helping us at this
you're helping us, in which,
point. We're walking with you.
No, but I seen the movies like, these are like the typical setups.
No, there's no sense.
have we treated you,
Have we in the room here done something different than what we told you ever?
Other than when we took photos of the second phone that first day. No, we've treated you well.
We're not on to, we modify him. Sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Michelle.
Yeah.
Go ahead, take your swing.
Yeah, go get her, so.
Go nuts.
And then Andy will talk to you tomorrow and,
Okay,
you can go pick up stuff, okay?
okay, thank you. Can I take this as mine?
Yeah.
1359, or
This is mine.
1559?
So you stay with the credit
15,
card?
yeah, can you watch
1559.
Detective Kimball, during the course of the interview, the defendant indicated to you that she and Mr. Dulos went to Starbucks on May 24th, 2019. Do you recall that?
Yes,
And were efforts made to investigate that and corroborate that?
yes,
And were you able to review surveillance footage from Starbucks from May 24th, 2019?
yes,
And were the defendant and Mr. Dulos present in Starbucks?
yes, they were.
Would that have been before or after the trash was dumped?
That would have been after.
During the course of this interview, Pavel Guglielmi's Toyota Tacoma was discussed. Do you recall that?
Yes,
Did the defendant ever indicate during this interview, June 6th, that that Toyota Tacoma was at 80 Mountain on May 24th, 2019?
no, she did not.
Did you have occasion to interview the defendant again?
Yes,
What date?
August 13, 2019.
And between June 6, 2019 and August 13, 2019, did the investigation into the disappearance of Jennifer Dulos continue?
Yes, it did.
And did you learn additional information?
Yes, we did.
Did you have an opportunity to review surveillance footage and photos to Dulos' phone?
Yes,
Did you have an opportunity to receive additional DNA information?
yes,
She was asked to participate in another interview, is that right?
yes.
I have nothing further at this time, Judge.
Thank you. This is a natural break. We will resume at 3:30. Please do not discuss the case.
All rise, this honorable Superior Court now stands in recess until 2:30. afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, please be seated. We can bring the jury in, please. Would counsel stipulate, please?
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
Thank you. And you have concluded your direct examination, Attorney McGinnis.
I have, Judge.
Attorney Schoen.
Good afternoon, Detective, Officer Kimball, right? Westport Police.
Whatever you want to say, sir. Good afternoon, Attorney Schoen.
We've met before.
Yes,
We've spoken before.
yes.
I may, because we've gone through the last couple of days, a lot of testimony, I may move around a bit, but I will try to keep in some semblance of order, so that'll be something that's easier to follow.
Okay.
So, getting back to your testimony, you were involved in interviewing Michelle on 3 separate occasions, is that correct?
Yes,
The first was at the New Canaan Police Department on June 2nd, 2019, right?
correct.
The second was on June 6th, 2019, at the law office of Attorney Andrew Bowman in Westport, correct?
Correct.
And the third time was on August 13th, 2019, at State Police Headquarters Troop G, right? In Bridgeport.
Correct.
The quality of the video at the New Canaan Police Department on June 2nd, 2019 is not quite what it was when you were using your own equipment on June 6th. Is that a fair statement?
Yes,
And although I'll get to in a minute, there were actually on June 6th 2 separate cameras recording from different angles. Is that right?
that is correct.
And then when I show you a clip, which we probably won't get to today, you will see a leg of a tripod closer to where you were sitting, and that would have been the so-called second camera. Is that right?
That's correct, yes.
This first interview took place the night or the day after Michelle was arrested, correct?
Correct.
And that was an arrest for the charges relating to the what we see Mr. Dulos distributing trash in Albany Avenue in Hartford, correct?
Yes,
That's what she was under arrest for at that time, right?
correct.
And you had prepared that warrant yourself, right?
Yes,
So you were involved in the investigation from almost from the very beginning, right?
yes,
She was arrested at about 11 o'clock at night, right?
yes. 11:15, supposedly.
11:15 at night,
PM.
in Avon at the Residence Inn.
Correct.
You weren't present for that, right?
That is correct, I was not.
There were other detectives who went to the Avon, Connecticut Residence Inn, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to answer yes or no.
Yes, yes,
And there were also uniformed state troopers who were there as well, correct?
correct.
You were made aware that at the time that she was arrested, she was already in bed in pajamas, right?
I was not aware of that, no.
You were not aware of that, all right? But you were aware, you were at the New Canaan Police Department at the time she was actually placed under arrest, correct?
I don't know if I was at New Canaan at 11:15 PM. I was there when she arrived on the 2nd.
All right, so that was going to be my next question. You were en route there at some point and got there before she was transported from Avon down to New Canaan, right?
Before she arrived in New Canaan, yes.
And just so that I'm clear, when you had applied for this warrant, you were at that time only accusing her of assisting Mr. Dulos with what happened in Hartford, right? The charges.
The charges were related to.
Right. And you didn't make the decision to have her brought from Avon down to New Canaan Did you? You didn't make that decision, did you?
No, no, it's not.
And it's, many miles from Avon, Connecticut down to New Canaan, isn't it?
Yes.
It's at least an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours, right?
I don't know the approximate travel time, especially at night.
And she arrived at the New Canaan Police Station, however, sometime certainly after midnight, maybe closer to 1 a.m. Is that the best of your recollection?
That's my recollection, is she arrived at 12:50 a.m. That's when I first saw her.
And I think your testimony was she had made arrangements then with her attorney to meet with you later on that day, right? Because it's early in the morning now, maybe 1 or 2 in the morning, and she made arrangements when her lawyer could be there, right?
When she first arrived, she hadn't made those arrangements, but they were made subsequent, yeah.
That's what I mean.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm answering your questions correctly,
Right.
that's all.
She called her attorney, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to answer
Yes,
yes or no.
yes.
And the time that was set up was the time we see on the screen, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon when it starts, right?
Yes.
When she was transported from Avon, you were aware that she was in the room with her, when she was arrested, she was in the room with her daughter, right?
I was not aware of that, no.
Well, did you have any input as to whether she should be arrested in front of her 12-year-old daughter or not?
I was going to
No.
object, Your Honor.
Well, grounds.
Assumes facts not in evidence, hearsay.
Well, the question is, did you have any input into the decision of having Michelle Troconis arrested in front of her daughter? Well, he would have personal knowledge as to whether he had input. But the other objection is hearsay. If the other objection is hearsay, that's overruled.
I had no input on whether she was arrested in front of her daughter, no.
You were not you were the investigating officer as of that date, correct?
I don't think I was the lead investigator as of the 1st of June.
Okay. There was a sergeant that you were aware of who was up in Avon that day, correct? State Police Sergeant?
Yes.
All right. And when Miss Troconis arrived in New Canaan, she was in handcuffs, wasn't she?
Yes.
And you were made aware, and you were aware that she was brought to New Canaan because that's where the state's attorney, Colangelo, had said she should be brought, correct?
Correct.
Now, you've interviewed many people over the years as a police officer, correct?
Yes.
And you've actually received training in interrogation techniques, haven't you?
In an interview and interrogation technique.
And you've seen how people react when they're afraid, right?
Yes.
You've seen how sometimes people might be afraid, but they act calm, right?
Yes.
They sometimes are nervous, right?
I would expect them to be nervous at times, yeah.
Well, especially if it's a situation they're not used to, right?
That's a natural result, yeah.
Unknown situations for a lot of people if they suddenly find themselves in police custody.
Well, what is the question, then, Sean?
All right. People react differently in your experience when they find themselves in police custody. Isn't that a fair statement?
Yes.
Once the interview started with Mr. Bowman present, right? Did you ever meet Attorney Bowman before?
Not before that day, no, sir.
Had you had any of the other officers in New Canaan who were there met him before?
I don't know.
Were you aware that he had been a lawyer for approximately 50 years?
No, I was not.
You didn't know that?
No.
Because I was going to ask, did you know that we were probably in high school younger when he was already practicing law, but you don't know the answer to that, right?
That's correct, I do not.
At the beginning of the recorded interview, we see you reading a form that had what we are commonly known as the Miranda rights, correct?
The notice and waiver of rights, correct.
You say, first you did the notice, right?
Correct.
And then there's a part that you refer to as the waiver, correct?
Correct.
Now, we've learned since then that that form that she signed has disappeared or is not located, correct?
That is correct.
But in any event, the whole time, we can see her at least signing some piece of paper, is that right?
Yes.
And her lawyer was there when that was being done.
Yes, he was.
You were not offering Ms. Troconis any kind of promises at that point, right?
No.
You didn't offer immunity.
No.
You didn't offer some kind of proffer agreement, meaning where whatever she says would not be used against her?
I don't have the authority to do that, so no.
Well, nobody gave you that authority in any event, right?
Correct.
You were in consult with Mr. Colangelo that evening, were you not?
Yes.
In that afternoon, correct?
Yes.
And this was a weekend, right? The
Yes,
second?
it's Saturday. That's Saturday the 1st, correct.
And at no time during the interview did Ms. Troconis say that she did not want to continue talking with you, did she?
No.
She kept going, right? That is, she kept talking to you, right?
This is the 232. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, and until that interview completed and concluded that Saturday about 2.5 hours later, right?
Yes.
She told you on that first occasion that she had had nothing to eat since a slice of pizza before her arrest, right?
She didn't tell me that. I was unaware of that. She
She
said
didn't
that while I was out of the room.
She said it to she said it to Officer Detective
Detective
Clabby.
Clabby, yes.
All right, so let's be clear. You were there, Detective Clabby was there, right?
I was not in the room, but I was in the building.
All right. Did Detective Clabby mention to you that she had had nothing to eat since before her arrest on the evening of June 1st?
He did not know.
You were also aware, because I think Detective Clabby says it in that first interview, that the night before that, she had been taken up to Litchfield for fingerprinting and things like that, right?
Yes.
You remember Detective Clabby saying the part about Dulos was glaring at her, sort of boring a hole through her. You remember he said that to her?
Yes.
Now, you were, and I think he said, that is, Detective Clabby said that during that time, Michelle had her head between her knees and wasn't even seeing what Dulos was doing, right?
Yes.
Is that why the two of you at that point expressed concern for her safety?
Part of it, yes.
As part of your technique in investigation, let me just be clear, in your training, are you allowed to feign concern if you wish? You know what I mean by that?
I do. Yes, thank you. Yes.
Are you allowed to lie to people who are being interrogated, if they're adults?
Presented deception, yes.
And I think yesterday, when you were asked a similar question by Mr. McGinnis, you said I think you used the term ruse. Is that correct?
Ruse?
A ruse. You can create a ruse, like a fake scenario.
I don't remember saying that, but.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember saying that.
Do you remember Mr. McGinnis asked you about, and I'll get to a more specific place, but he asked about whether you told Michelle something that wasn't true, but the goal would be to use some kind of a false statement to try and elicit a response.
Yes.
And you're allowed to do that, right? I mean,
Yes.
there's nothing,
Yes.
nobody's told you can't do that, right?
No.
At the beginning of that first interview, we hear Ms. Troconis asked you if you speak Spanish. Do you recall that?
I do, yes.
And you had mentioned that, that the rights were available in Spanish, is that right?
That is correct.
Including the waiver of rights, correct?
Yes,
But
correct.
even though you don't have it, you had her sign the English version, correct?
She indicated she spoke English.
Well, my question is the side that that you had her sign the English version or the Spanish version?
The side she signed was English.
Okay. And she did say she spoke English,
She
right?
did.
And you agree, though, there were certain words she didn't know at various points, as we just observed?
Yes.
And she also told you that, also right at the beginning, that there are some things she doesn't understand, right?
Yes.
And in fact, we see a few times where she can't come up with the word in English. She said things like, how do you say, or what's it called, things like that, right?
Yes.
But you were able to have a conversation with her, though, correct?
Yes. In English.
And I think at one point, didn't she say that she was in shock? Didn't she tell you that?
Yes.
And from your experience, even educated people can be in shock, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Educated people can be scared,
Yes.
and educated people can be under stress,
Yes.
and educated people can be confused.
Yes.
At the time you were questioning Mr. Troconis on June 2nd, you had a lot of information that she did not have, right? About the case.
Objection vague.
All right, about the case.
Objection vague.
Well, the question is somewhat.
I'll withdraw it, Judge.
Thank
All
you.
right. You had already been, by June 2nd, you had been to the Wells Lane house in New Canaan, right?
Yes.
You had consulted with the other New Canaan police officers who had been on the scene, right?
Yes.
There had already been some collection of evidence and photographs taken by evidentiary service personnel, correct?
Yes.
And that also had included photography and videos by the state police evidentiary services unit of the Western District Major Crime Squad, correct?
Yes.
And you were a part of that unit. When I say the unit, I mean the
Western District.
squad.
Correct. Yes.
And by June 2nd, you also had obtained a number of videos from surveillance cameras, right?
A number, yes. Some.
And you had Mr. Dulos's cell phone, correct?
Yes.
It had been, in fact, seized from him when he went down to the New Canaan Police Department on May 25th, that is the next day, right?
Correct.
And you were aware, just because all these names were being bandied about, when Ms. Troconis referred to Jacob, that was one of his divorce lawyers, Jacob Pytranker, correct?
Correct.
And you knew that Mr. Pytranker was with Mr. Dulos at the New Canaan Police Department on that May 25th, right?
Yes.
And then we've heard some other names like Gene. Were you familiar with an attorney named Eugene Riccio?
Yes.
And were you aware that Mr. Dulos had retained Mr. Riccio by then, as of June 2nd?
As of June 2nd. I don't know. I don't know.
All right. You had heard the name Mike Rose mentioned multiple times in these videos. You were aware that attorney Mike Rose was the guardian for the children in the divorce case, right? Withdrawn. I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, that's me.
Yes, that's a mistake. That Mike Rose was in fact one of Mr. Dulos's divorce lawyers, correct?
I knew he was an attorney. I didn't know what type.
But you knew he was representing Mr. Dulos at that point, right?
I didn't know he was representing Mr. Dulos. I knew he had been in touch with Mike Rose,
Okay.
who was an attorney.
You had also interviewed a number of people connected to the Farber family, correct?
Yes.
So you had learned a lot, and you had talked to, or someone from your unit had talked to Lauren Almeida, the babysitter slash nanny, right?
Yes,
You had garnered a lot of information about what kind of person Mr. Dulos was, at least seemed to be from those interviews, correct?
correct, yes.
And you conveyed a lot of that to Mr. Troconis on both the June 2nd and the June 6th interrogation dates, correct?
During our interviews, yes.
Now, when you said things such as that Dulos was a liar, he was a manipulator, he used people, were those just techniques to ruse, or were those things that those other individuals had actually said to you, and therefore you were sharing information that you had actually garnered?
Those were things that we had heard about Mr. Dulos, so that was actual information we were sharing.
You had learned that he at least appeared to be successful, right?
Yes, yes.
Living in a 15,000 square foot home, right?
10,000, yes.
But if you look online, it says 15,000 if you include the office and the finished lower
Just looked
level.
online, but that's all right. Whatever you say.
All right. In any event,
Large house.
At the time, you'd never been to that house, correct?
That's correct, yes.
At some point, did you go to that house?
Yes,
So you know it's pretty massive, right?
yes.
So I've already asked other people, so I don't need to go through with you, but you agreed it has something like 8 bedrooms,
Yeah, yes.
6 or more baths,
Sounds right, yes.
all tiled, chandeliers, the whole works, right?
Yes,
You brought up at one point in this, I'm just going to jump quickly to the second interview about the kind of finances, how Michelle's finances sort of interacted, if you will, with Fotis Dulos' finances. Do you remember those questions?
yes,
And in fact, Michelle said that except for a household credit card for buying food and stuff, she paid for her daughter in her own way, except maybe for certain plane tickets when they went on vacation. Isn't that what she said?
groceries and gas, I believe, is what she said she paid with that ticket, that credit card, but yes.
And you either confirmed that or found nothing to dispute that, right?
Correct.
Now, I want to ask you about something that was said at one point on June 2nd after the rights were read, and I'm going to ask Bob, if you go to minute 11, and can we have the monitors on, please? This is of the June 2nd interview. Oh, I don't know how to put it. Oh, got it.
I know it's been a rough week, but they don't really understand or know about what we do. So
We've seen you at some of your worst moments. We see the humanity in you, and we want people to know that it's there. There are probably people out there out there.
I saw it the other night and you were having a hard time. Remember when we were doing the prints? I could see it, so you failed.
And we understand that you could be, I don't know what happened to you. I don't know how I was treating you. I don't know what he promised you. I told you. I know it's been over the last week, there's been a significant change in your lifestyle, and there may be a downward trajectory for you. So you look shell shocked quite frankly me yesterday because we were saying you're safe. You look like and you're shocked. Right. And that's understandable. We understand that.
All right. So she actually, you used the term shell-shocked, and she said she was in shock, right?
Yes,
And that just goes to, like I said, that was something that you might find a number of people, that's the reaction if they find themselves under arrest, right?
yes,
And you'd agree that for many people, being arrested is a shocking experience.
yes.
Now, one of the things that you had learned, besides the financial situation that Mr. Dulos was in, was that he surrounded himself by well-off and successful people, right?
We had heard that, yes.
And you talked to some of those people, didn't you? You had interviewed some of them, right?
Me personally, no, but yes, they were spoken to.
The other members of the unit.
Correct, that's
Now,
state police.
because we've heard from many state police officials and officers and New Canaan police, there were a large number of detectives and officers assigned to this case, wasn't there? Especially in the earlier days.
That worked the case, yes.
That worked the case. Fair to say at least 50 to 100, if you count the uniformed patrol officers that were involved, the troopers?
Fair to say, yes.
And those people who knew Fotis Dulos that you talked to could not believe that he'd even be involved in this. Isn't that correct?
Just object, Your Honor. Calls for hearsay.
Sustained.
After the after you first met Michelle Troconis in the middle of the night, you saw her at the station when she went to, and then she was allowed to call the lawyer, right?
Yes, yes.
Then you said you went home because you were tired and needed some rest, right?
Yes.
But Michelle Troconis couldn't go home, could she?
No, she was in custody.
She was in custody, and she was, at that point at least, denied bail, right?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor, mischaracterizes.
Well, because the court knows the legal procedure, the question denied bail is a mischaracterization.
All right, I'll rephrase. She was not allowed to post bail, was she?
Until arraignment, no.
I'm going to ask now, do you recall when you asked her to sort of convey what her day was like, to recount her day, that she then responded by using terms like what my normal day was? Remember that?
During the first interview?
Right.
During
And
this?
I'm going to ask Bob if you go to, I think it's like minute 12. 12:40. 12:40. Or make it 12:30, actually.
Usually I have the alarm set for 6:40 every day, but not Thursdays because Nicole goes to school on Thursdays. She gets in at 9 instead of 8. So from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and on Fridays, my alarm is always mine, and Nicole's alarm is always set at 6:40.
Okay, you live at 4 Jefferson Crossing?
Yes.
Okay, with Fotis and with Nicole? Okay.
Yes.
And Nicole is 12?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So my normal day, the alarm sounds. Usually I'm in my room, she's in her room. She wakes up, she's very dependent. She wakes up, I hear the shower turning on. That day I slept with her because on Thursday to Friday it was raining. There was thunderstorms. So she called me at 12:59 when she's scared and I have the phone next to my bed. She called me. I answered. She said, "I'm scared." And obviously, when she says that, I hang up and I go. I pick my phone and I go to So I did that. So obviously I woke up and I was with her in her bed. Then
So, first of all, let me just break that down a bit.
Judge, just for the record, he paused it at 13:43.
Thank you.
That's fine, I didn't realize the screen would go off before the pause, but that's okay. Well, next time, if we leave it up just for the pause, it'll be easier for me to say that. Because I don't have my own screen, I'm sorry. So, a lot of what Ms. Troconis was telling you at this point had to do with her usual day, what she did on a regular basis, correct?
Yes, correct.
Often when she spoke, she used the present tense in her conversation with you. Isn't that right?
Yes.
That turned out to be true even if she was talking about something in the past, correct?
Yes.
You understood that might have something to do with her not being a native English speaker, right?
Yes.
She told you that she got a call right before 1 a.m. from her 12-year-old daughter because she was scared about thunderstorms, right?
Yes.
And that it had been raining, right?
Yes.
You said in answers to Mr. McGinnis's questions yesterday that you checked on some app like Weather Underground or something, that there were no storms in that area. Isn't that right?
I checked on Weather Underground and timeanddate.com, and there was minimal precipitation. Not none, but only less than half an inch.
And that was at Brainerd Airport, isn't that right?
It was at Brainerd Airport, correct.
Right. I'm going to offer Defense Exhibit K.
This is what you showed me.
Yeah.
I have no objection to K.
Defense K admitted as a full exhibit.
I just have a moment to use my. All right. Yeah. Would you call up the map, please, that's on there? Now, do you recognize this from the Weather Service being from the early morning hours of May 24th, 2019 at 12:56 a.m.? Could you zoom in a little on the center, please?
Judge, if I may, I just want to indicate, is Attorney Schoenherr indicating this came from one of these sites, or is he indicating it came from Weather US, which is what it shows?
Yes, from weather.us.
Thank you.
All right. Do you recognize the area of blue and aqua in the center of the screen?
Yes, I do.
And what's the time indicated on this image?
It's cut off on my screen. It's down at the bottom.
If you look behind you,
Oh,
I think
okay.
you might be able to read it.
12:56 a.m. on May 24th, 2019.
All right. So is it at least conceivable, Officer Kimball, that the sources that you looked at were not actually looking at the Farmington, West Hartford area at that moment?
Yes, it's conceivable.
Okay. And I also just want to be clear, do you agree, if you look at this map, that this is the location where Fort Jefferson Crossing is? That blue area in the center there, it would include Fort Jefferson Crossing.
If it doesn't include it, it's very close to. I'm not sure. I'm not that familiar with the road, so it's definitely either on top of or close to Fort Jefferson Crossing.
Then I have to ask you a different question. Now, as part of the investigation, and as we listen to the questioning, there's a lot of talk about the pond, the ski
Yes.
pond, right?
Yes.
And you're aware, so that everybody here is aware, that the ski pond was basically down the mountain. The house was on top of Avon Mountain, correct?
Yes.
And on both sides of Avon Mountain, there's roads that go up and up, but they're quite steep, correct?
Yes.
In fact, I don't know if you've ever had to to cover that as a trooper, but you know that there have been very serious accidents going down the both sides of that mountain, right?
Yes, more than.
Including multiple fatalities, trucks
44.
running out of control, lots of injuries over the years, correct?
Yes,
So you were aware that the pond was sort of part of the Farmington River Valley, which was just below Avon Mountain, correct?
when you say just below, can you give me a cardinal southwest?
Sure, that if you wanted to get to that pond, there was only one road, by the way, to get from Avon to Farmington, one main road, that would be Route 4, correct?
Route 4, okay, yes.
So if you wanted to get to this pond, you either had to take Route 4 or you had to take Route 44, the Albany Avenue, right? Unless you take some back roads.
Yes,
And do you agree that the pond was located in the valley below Avon Mountain between Route 4 and Route 44?
yes.
In fact, I don't know if, you know,
Not
for
familiar
people
with
that are from down here, but it's very close to the private school, Avon Old Farm School. You're familiar with that
Yes.
facility? It's
Yes.
a private boarding school for boys.
Yes,
Okay, so it's close to there, right?
yes,
And as part of your investigation, you knew that other officers spoke to the owner of the pond, a man by the name of Robert Haynes, correct?
Hutch Haynes, yes.
And Hutch was his
Hutch
nickname.
was his nickname, yes.
And that you knew he owned the Avon storage lockers that we hear talked about in the videos, right?
Yes,
He also owned the area where the pond was, right?
that's correct, yes.
One of the things that was collected from Mr. Haynes was the surveillance cameras from the area, from his storage locker area and the pond area, correct?
Yes.
Did you ever review those videos?
I did not personally know.
All right, I'm going to ask that in the same exhibit, if we could play the video at, move it forward to about 12:45 a.m. Can you tell us what you observed?
It appears to be rain falling.
Severely heavy rain?
Yeah, yes,
And if we could just move it forward 3 or 4 minutes so we don't have to watch this exciting video. Just 3 minutes, just maybe, no, before 1 though. Go back a little bit further, please, right there. So at 12:54, it's still raining quite hard, is that right?
rain, I don't see any lightning, but yes, I do see rain.
All right. Thank you.
Attorney Schoenberg, can you just indicate for the record what you played?
Yes, that is a section of the surveillance video from the Avon storage locker units on Old Farms Road in Avon, Connecticut.
And which exhibit number is that, please? Oh,
It's
a
part-
letter.
The same
Okay.
exhibit.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you.
When you said to Michelle point blank, we checked, there were no storms that night, were you trying to deceive her by saying that?
I believe I said there was very little precipitation, but no, it was not an attempt at deception. It was a bona fide belief of mine at the time.
But she was telling you that there was a storm and her daughter called her and she went up to her daughter's room, right?
Yes,
You're telling her that you didn't believe her when she told you that, right?
I told her that there was little to no precipitation. Yes,
In hindsight, was that accurate?
not according to the video I just saw.
So as far as you know now, she was telling you the truth, right?
As far as I know, yes.
When we're talking about the beginning of that June 2nd, 2019 interview, and I don't want to play a lot of clips if we recall it. If not, then we'll play it. But you remember either you or Detective Clabby were telling Michelle that she, from what you knew, she was a good mom, right?
Yes.
And that the media had been tough on her, correct?
Yes.
Would you agree that there was a lot of tabloid media with pictures of Michelle Troconis even before she was arrested?
I don't pay much attention to the media, but I'm aware that there was some coverage of it, yes.
It included her daughter too, didn't it?
I don't
Pictures
know.
of her daughter.
Objection, Your Honor. Foundation.
Well, the question really is, do you know whether it included pictures of her daughter?
Yeah.
No, I do not.
Between the by the way, when Michelle was telling you about her day of May 24th, one of the things she told you is that she took her daughter to school around 8:15, 8:20 in the morning. Isn't that right?
I think she left 7:30, 7:35.
But you confirmed the fact that she arrived at the school and brought her daughter there, right?
Yes.
Her daughter's school was maybe 15, 20 minutes away from Fort Jefferson Crossing, approximately.
Approximately, yes.
And that was something you were able to confirm.
Yes.
She also told you that she had returned a purse to Mr. Haynes that his wife had left at her house, right? That is,
Yes.
at the Dulos house.
Yes.
She told you that they were over for dinner that previous night, May 23rd, correct?
Yes.
And that's when Miss Haynes Erin Haynes forgot her purse, right?
Yes.
She told she got a text. She read a text from Erin Haynes saying, you know, I left my purse there, right?
Yes.
And I believe we heard Michelle say she would bring it because it was on her way to the Stop and Shop, right?
Yes.
You confirmed the fact that she did that, correct?
Subject calls for hearsay, Judge.
Well, the question is, essentially, did you confirm that Michelle Troconis did a certain, or engaged in a certain activity? Did you verify that, as the court understands the question?
Yes.
Overruled.
I personally did not. I am unsure as to whether someone else specifically verified the Erin Haynes, but we know that she went to Stop and Shop.
Okay, and you confirmed that you actually verified that you obtained videos from the Stop and Shop store showing her going in, right?
Yes, yes.
And shopping and paying for items at the cash register, right?
Yes.
It's fair to say that you checked out almost every angle you could in your investigation into the disappearance of Jennifer Dulos, whatever was available, right?
Yes.
You met again with Michelle Troconis, as you indicated, 4 days later, is that right?
Yes.
And there, she was still staying, she said she was still staying at the Avon Residence Inn, right?
Yes.
And that's because she had been not allowed back into her house, right?
That's correct.
In fact, at the end of the second interview, you hear her ask, she needs clothes, she doesn't even have a pair of shoes that she can change into, right?
Yes,
Her daughter doesn't have any clothes for school, right?
yes,
And she was asking permission to be able to go get some clothes for herself and her daughter, right?
yes,
And I believe it was this, we can't see him, but the state's attorney, Richard Colangelo, was in the room at that time, wasn't he?
yes,
He's the one who said he gave the permission to do that. Is that right?
yes.
I'm not sure you were asked that specific question, but there was a man with glasses halfway through the June 6th interview who walked in. Was that Richard Colangelo himself?
Yes,
And he sat off screen to the left of the camera, is that right?
somewhere off to the left, yes, I'm not sure.
And we hear a female voice as well, but we don't see, that would be Officer Allison
Peters,
who was a detective at that time as well with the state police.
yes.
You did not speak with Michelle Troconis in between June 2nd and June 6th, did you?
I did
personally?
not. I did not know.
You continued to conduct investigations during that time?
Yes,
Continued to gather additional information?
yes,
Sent additional items to the state lab to be examined, is that right?
yes,
Talk to more people.
yes,
In the interim, the house at 4 Jefferson Crossing was being searched, is that right?
Just object, Your Honor. Vague.
Well,
Between June 2nd and June 6th was the house being searched and the property being searched.
there was a search which was conducted on at least one of those days. The 3rd of June.
There were also dogs that were brought onto the canines to search the property as well, right?
Yes.
Those were not in conjunction with the evidentiary services unit, right? It's a different day, right?
Can you ask that a different way? I'm not sure I understand the
On
question.
June 3rd, the evidentiary services unit of the Western District Major Crime Squad was at 4 Jefferson Crossing, right?
Yes.
They were there all day.
Yes,
On a different day, before June 6th, there were police dogs of the state police searching the property as well, right?
the canine unit searched. I'm unaware of exactly what day the canine, but the canine unit is separate from our van.
It was, however, done while the house remained under police control, correct?
Yes, correct.
Now, you were aware that, as she indicated in the video, that Michelle was staying at the hotel, right?
Yes.
She talks about her mom as well, right?
Yes.
Was her mom there when you were interviewing her on June 6th? Was she out in the hallway?
Her mother is seated in the hallway, yes.
At one point when the door opens, we see a woman sitting in a waiting area. Was that Miss Troconis' mom?
I believe it was, yes.
Were you introduced to her as the mom?
I don't remember being so.
Okay. But there was another woman, a woman a little bit older than Michelle Troconis sitting in the waiting area.
Well navigated, yes.
Now, at one point, we hear Mr. Bowman talk about how Ms. Troconis used her phone to pinpoint her whereabouts. Do you remember hearing him say that to you?
So pinpoint her whereabouts,
Go ahead. I didn't.
It's all right. My understanding was she referenced her phone to determine what she was doing around the general time of a phone call or of a text.
Okay.
So
well, that's
whereabouts as far as like physical whereabouts?
Oh, no, time frames.
Okay. Yes, I will agree with that.
All right. And she didn't have her phone on either June 2nd or June 6th, did she?
No, she did not.
The phone had been seized on May 31st, correct?
Yes,
By the state police.
yes.
By the way, I just want to, before I move away from May 31st, to your knowledge, the first encounter that Michelle Troconis had with the state police was on that evening of May 31st, correct?
To my knowledge, yes.
And Detective Clabby was in Litchfield when Ms. Troconis was escorted up there, correct?
Yes,
She was not under arrest at that point, right?
correct. She was
That was
not.
on the evening of May 31st, right?
Yes,
Ms. Troconis was up there because that's where the state police decided that they would do her fingerprints, right?
correct,
They would take a DNA swab from her cheek, right?
correct.
And they'd also take, I think you referred to it as full body photographs, is that right?
Yes,
And that means she was required to take off all her clothes except for her thong underwear, isn't that right?
and perhaps her brassiere, I'm not sure.
But everything else.
Down
had come off.
down to underwear, yes.
All right. And then a female police officer was brought in to take those pictures, right?
That's correct, yes.
And those pictures were of all parts of her body except for what the thong underwear and bra covered, right?
Correct, yes.
On that first interview on June 2nd, there was a fair amount of discussion about the cars and the location where those cars were parked. Is that right?
Yes,
By the way, on that, you were shown yesterday and today the written documents, exhibits 74 and 75, and I just want to go over that with you for a minute. You did not have those documents on June 2nd, 2019, did you?
correct, that is correct. We did not have-
They were found in the house by the evidentiary services team and the van team, whatever their crime van team?
Crime van,
Okay, on June 3rd, right?
yes,
On June 2nd, Michelle told you that she was listening in on a phone call when Jacob Pietranker was telling Fotis Dulos that he needed to create a timeline. Isn't that right?
for Wednesday the 22nd, yes.
Right. Well, we'll get to that. I understand that it was then Mr. Dulos who, according to the video, told Michelle she also had to do one for Friday. That's what the video shows, right?
Correct,
But we're talking now about Wednesday, and that, according to the testimony and the video, was the first time that Michelle Troconis even found out that Fotis had been at his wife's home that Wednesday, the 22nd, right?
yes,
In fact, she indicated she was a little annoyed about that he hid that from her.
yes,
The document that you did have for, and I just want this clarified now, of the timeline was a photocopy that Michelle identified as being her document, right?
yes,
The original, which you held up, which had the purple line on it, she said that was not her handwriting, correct?
that's correct,
She also told you that she did not prepare that document, correct?
that's correct,
She thought it looked like Fotis Dulos' handwriting. Right?
yes,
But she hadn't seen it before.
yes, that's correct,
There's also, I need some clarification. She told you that Fotis made a photocopy of her written timelines, correct?
honestly don't remember who she said made the copy.
Well, we can get to it, but if
Okay.
I show you I'd have to play it, I have a transcript, but
Okay.
if I indicate to you that she did say that it was, Fotis made the photocopy, that doesn't conflict with what you believe, is that right?
Yes, correct.
Fair enough. It's not important enough to me to look
Okay.
for it right now and take up time, so. In any event, after Michelle was taken up to Litchfield on May 31st, now it was in the evening, she was told she couldn't go home, right?
Correct.
That was still true, I think we just got to, was still true through June 6th, correct?
Correct.
Until Mr. Colangio said the next day he gave permission, she can get some things out of there.
Correct.
When Ms. Troconis told you that she gave the original of the Exhibit 75 to her attorney, you didn't know if that was true at that moment, correct?
No, you didn't.
Until when Mr. Bowman said, yes, she gave it to me, and he sort of held something up as we see in the video, did you believe it then?
To clarify, I'm not sure what she gave Attorney Bowman was the same document that she had prepared and was then photocopied, which we found. She had prepared a timeline, which she had presented to Attorney Bowman.
Well, the two photocopies that were in Ms. Troconis' handwriting, one was a list of incoming and outgoing phone calls, right?
Yes.
In her handwriting.
She identified it as her handwriting.
And it appeared, I believe she said, but did it appear that she had needed to use her phone to document that item?
Yes.
At the time, did you know who was with her when she wrote it?
I'm sorry, can we get a time frame? I'm confused by the question, at the time.
Do you know when she was writing that document, who was with her when she wrote it?
I don't know when she wrote it, so I don't know who was with her at that time.
At one point, just so that we're clear, she did say in the video, in the second video, that Fotis told her to write down everything, correct?
Yes.
And didn't Attorney Bowman, in that first interview, say to you that Michelle relies on her phone for specific times? Isn't that what he
Yes.
said? By the way, if you knew a document was being prepared for a lawyer, you wouldn't take that document, would you?
No.
I was going to object, Your Honor, relevance.
Sustained.
Now, Mr. Bowman indicated to you, if you recall yesterday, that, I think he said that, I want you to understand this is not rehearsed. Any attorney would go over everything together. It's common for attorneys to go over everything in detail. Do you remember
Yes.
that being said yesterday? That you don't disagree with that statement, do you?
I was going to object, Your Honor, relevance as to whether he disagrees.
Well, as far as relevance, the question is, do you disagree with the statement that essentially a competent attorney would try to review with his client a chronology? Well, really the objection really is foundation. Well, the court is going to sustain the objection.
By the way, could Michelle have stopped answering questions at any time?
Yes.
Could her lawyer, if the lawyer had said, we're stopping, we're not going any further, would you have then stopped asking questions?
Yes.
That never happened, did it?
Correct.
And she never asked to stop, did she?
Correct.
Even after, did Detective Clabby mention that at one point she said she felt dizzy?
Which interview are we talking?
In the first interview.
First interview. I don't remember that occasion.
By the way, at the time that Ms. Troconis was arrested and brought to the New Canaan Police Station at, what time was it approximately?
12:50 a.m. is when I saw her.
12:50
For the
a.m.
first time, on the second.
Mr. Dulos arrested at the same time, wasn't he?
Yes,
He was brought in a separate police car to the New Canaan Police Department, right?
yes.
There's some discussion about keeping her separate from Mr. Dulos. Was that at your suggestion?
I don't think it was at my suggestion.
When you told Ms. Troconis that Fotis Dulos had not cooperated with the New Canaan Police Department, she seemed surprised, didn't she?
Again, I'm sorry, the first interview we're talking?
Yes.
Yes, I believe she did.
She had indicated to you that Mr. Dulos had told her he went down with Jacob Pytranker to speak with the New Canaan Police. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Were you at the New Canaan Police Station on May 25th when Mr. Dulos came in with his lawyer?
Yes, I was.
But you were not downstairs in the foyer when Mr. Dulos and Mr. Pytranker came in, right?
That's correct. I was.
So you were not a witness to whatever the interaction was with the New Canaan police officers that were there, right?
Trooper Chris Allegro and Officer Tom Patton, but I was not a witness, no.
Okay. By the way, I just want to be clear, I'm going back a little bit here, but when Ms. Troconis asked you if you spoke Spanish, what was your answer?
No, but I don't know of any other attributes to my answer.
Did Detective
no, I
Clabby, to
don't.
your knowledge, speak Spanish?
Detective Clabby has a Spanish wife. I don't know if he speaks Spanish.
Okay. Which, like Hispanic wife, you mean? Is that what, you mean she's from Spain
She
or
is,
from?
yes.
From
My-
Spain?
My apologies, yes.
Okay. And I also note, and I don't know if the jury knows it, but there were times when she answered in Spanish words. She would say, sí, bueno, pero, right?
Yes.
Do you know what any of those words mean?
Bueno is well. At least that's what it was translated to me.
Mm-hmm.
Sí, I believe, is yes.
How about pero?
Pero, I don't know pero.
I want to just ask you then some questions now about some of the, Judge, I was going to go into a different area. I don't know if this might be I could
A natural
squeeze out
stopping
another
point.
5 minutes, but.
Probably a natural stopping point.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will conclude today's proceeding. Please, as always, avoid any media coverage about the case and do not discuss with anyone any of the evidence in the case or anything about the case. We plan to resume on Monday morning at 10 o'clock. Have a safe weekend.
All rise. This honorable Superior Court now stands adjourned until Monday at 10 a.m.